Ah, that's better. God, you look like a hoodie. You look like something out of Top Boy.
Look like I belong in the hood.
We've got to post this postcard from Italy to my mum, but we never posted it, so we never wrote it, so there we go. Ah, I am famous for
Not seeing post boxes.
not seeing post boxes, like having a letter in the van and driving around with it for like 2 weeks. Every time I stop, I'm like, oh God, and then I carry on and then I forget again. I'll jump out and do it.
There you are.
Right, hazards on. So it's Monday morning. It's 8:30 Monday morning. We've been to a job and let the plasterer in. Now we are going back to another job that's had floor fitters in. We're going back there now to
Doing a bit of skirting.
fit some skirting, mess around with some pocket doors and synchronisation
Architrave around there.
cable. Yeah, that's right. Architrave around the loft hatch that's going to need to be rebaited and messed around with. Pocket doors. What else we got to do on that job? I think that's the main part of that bit. And then they want some stone. They want a stone seat in the shower cubicle.
Stones.
Yeah, I haven't shown you that.
Oh, what is? So she wants that black one taken out.
Well, it's tiled, isn't it, at the moment? So it's tiled and knackered. So yeah, we've got to take it out and we're going to sort of rebuild it, and then we'll template and get a piece of stone of some sort made and glued in place. It'd be better than never have horizontal tiles. Never have any sort of horizontal tile in a bathroom. Is my little rule, because it just doesn't last. Especially like this thing is a seat inside the shower cubicle itself. And it's made up of mosaics, and they've done nothing but just, moisture sat on top of it, and they've just cracked. All the grout joints are sort of knackered, and some tiles have come out. And so, like any bench or a seat in a shower cubicle, if you're lucky enough to have a shower cubicle big enough for a seat, that is, which not many of us are, I suppose.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to.
What, in any?
Yeah.
Just take a seat.
Grab a camping chair.
Just take a chair. That's true.
Get in the shower.
And a beer. Did you drink any more of that keg from Brighton Tools? Did you not?
Unfortunately, I gave it to my dad. I didn't like it.
Did he have any? Did you try it?
Yeah, he didn't mind it.
He's polished it off. Mm. So we've got free beer from Brighton Tools. And Neil wasn't that happy with it, and I don't drink, so. But now we're on our way to Holland Road in Hove. A mug?
I reckon that guy had fallen off his bike.
Really?
Yeah, because there's this big pour of tea on the floor, and he's trying to fix his bike.
Oh,
really?
On
the road.
God. Oh, we could go to Cannon's for our breakfast later. We had someone crash into the side of the van last week as we were driving along, didn't we, on this push bike?
Seen quite a few random bicycle accidents
in
this van.
We have, haven't we? And then a couple of months ago there was a bloke
who got his shoelace stuck in the
got his shoelace caught in the cog of the pedals, and we were just watching it in slow motion. But first of all we thought he was drunk, didn't we?
Yeah, because he was just stumbling about.
Oh, he tried to stand back up, but he was attached to the bike.
Yeah, he was stumbling about. We were like, this guy is not.
He looked pissed, which would be quite standard in the middle of the day in Brighton, but he wasn't. So we jumped out and untied him off his bike for him, didn't we? Did we have a knife, or did we just?
No, we didn't cut his laces. He didn't want to.
Got out and just cut his shoelaces and ran off. Yeah. So anyway, I reckon we'll be at this job most of the day today, and then we'll get back to Claire's at Amer Road. I need to sit down at my desk because we've got a couple of extensions starting, and really to get off on the right start on an extension, you really have to put a few days work in gearing the job up. Like in my past life, when I ran building jobs, like if it was a new house, I'd get given a few days in the office to gear the job up, but now it's now it's all on me. It's harder to just sit down at a desk and do these things. Me and Emil are having a well-deserved tea break.
Oh yeah.
And this is Ebru, who's lovely and
Hello.
helping us with some coffee. Hello.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you. We
had a good start today so far.
Good start to the week. Positive vibes. About 10:30. Quick tea break, and then go back and crack on with some more. This morning we had to rip down some skirtings. This job, and when I was cutting them I sort of thought, oh, blimey, that's cutting them a bit rough, but then I just eased them with a block plane, and then I've just come to set the saw up to trim a door down, and I thought I'll put a better blade in it, and it's only got a bloody fibre cement cutting blade in it. like a carbide tipped blade, it's only got about 4 teeth on it. So then immediately I thought, Emil, I was going to give Emil a rollick, and he sort of reminded me that, yeah, we did put that in there on a job when we were cutting some cement board. So we use these blades, as builders will know, for cutting cement board and yeah, anything sort of cementitious, hardy plank even, I suppose, if you were doing that, and fireboarding. Use these they've got tungsten carbide tipped teeth on, and there's only 4 teeth on the whole blade, and actually this one over here is missing it anyway, so it's only got 3 teeth on it. There's me ripping down skirting with it. So that will go back in the box and we'll get a nicer blade out. And anyway, so this is the top of an Achilles door frame, and I'm just adjusting these little bolts to make the meeting styles of these doors sit nicely. La, 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 la. Doors have got a terrible twist in them. Christ. In fact, I think these have got to be cut down because the flooring's now gone in. These trims are like a couple of mils off of, oh no, that's right that side. So they sort of go on like that. The other one on this side. So these trims that come with the door, the Achilles kit, when you buy the Achilles frames, they come with these trim kits that go around the perimeter of the frame, the head and the 2 sides. But now the flooring has gone in. That's just a couple of mil too long there now, so I'm just going to go and cut a couple of mil off the bottom of it.
My dad's make it hurt.
There's like little millipedes living in this.
Better do a quick video of a meal, otherwise we're not going to record much this week, are we? We're rebuilding this bench seat in this bathroom. He was doing a lovely solid job of it. We've taken off the tiles around the surrounding perimeter, if you like, so that we can tank it. We picked up this kit, this waterproofing kit, Mapai stuff, tanking stuff with the van, and we are going to tank the edge of it, tank before we get the tiler to tile it. I'm messing around with these doors that I did do a little bit of a video of the other day. These Achilles pocket doors that we've put these panels in. We put this panel in that the customer got made. That's it for now, really. So we're just sort of wrapping up for the day at this job, and I thought I'd template, because we're going to put a piece of honed granite on the top of this, and I thought I'd template for it quickly, because I want to get this piece of granite on the top before we get the tiler in to well, of course, to tile it. You need this piece of granite sitting on here, and then the tiles on this back wall can be cut into it rather than the other way around, rather than tiling it and then butting the granite into it, because that would be weaker. There'd be, like, as far as like the waterproofing of it goes. So I thought I'd just check this for square, and then I suddenly thought of something that I don't want to trip myself up with. I don't want to measure this. I don't want to make the silly mistake of measuring this and taking a few mil off. Like, that's 1575 there. So probably 1575, so that, you know, you could call it 1570 for 5, give it 5 mil, 2.5 mil each end if you like. And and it's actually that end, the left-hand end over there, that corner is not 90 degrees. This end is, and that is out a little bit. Anyway, if I did get it made at 1570, which would work nicely, then I was just checking to make sure that the granite, when we come to put it in, if we butt it in at that end, saying drop it down on an angle here, that it's actually not going to clash with these wall tiles, that it's going to go in. Because when you're putting something in on an angle, it's sort of longer when it's on the angle, and then once it comes around into its position, it fits. But for a moment, when it's on the angle, it's longer, if you like. It doesn't make much sense, but 1570. And I sort of realised that what I was thinking to get it cut at, I wouldn't be able to get it in. Yeah, 1570 there, I'm not going to be able to get it in, am I? No, 1570 will work. 1570, I'll physically be able to get it in there between that wall tile that's still in place. And then it will still be nice. Yeah, so anyway, moral of the story is make sure you don't just measure it and forget that you've actually got to get it into place. It's a bit like something like, if you get something made and cut and you forget you've got to bring it through a doorway. That sort of business. 1570. When we've rebuilt this box in, we've used some 20mm tile backerboarding. We've used 20mm really only because that's all they had in the shop. Could have used 10mm, but they only had 20 and it's only going to be stronger, so that's, So we're fixed by this shower tray. This shower tray, I've never actually seen it before, is rubber. It's all squishy. We're restricted with this shower tray. Our 20mm boarding comes tight into the back of this tray, because it's a JT tray, I realised. It has a membrane on it built into as part of the tray, and that membrane comes up the face of this of our tile backerboarding, and then we've gone over it with our tanking membrane. So anyway, we were restricted with that, so that's our fixed point. So then we've plumbed up from there, and it turns out in the end that means that the top here is not dead parallel. Like this back wall is running out of parallel to it by 10mm there, 290, and that's 300 tight. Now that's without taking into account the extra tiles that are going on here when this gets retiled. When this gets tiled on there, and any overhang. So what am I going to do? Am I going to get the granite made tapered to fit? I think I'm going to have to, aren't I? If I don't, then there's going to be an uneven overhang. When the granite sits on top of here and it overhangs, it's going to overhang 7mm bigger at that end than it does at that end. And that would look bad. That would, when you eye that through, it'd all look like everything's twisted. So that's going to mean we could use a bit of Corex or anything really. 6mm, 3mm ply to template this, but I'm hoping to not template it, to be honest, because we haven't got anything here and we'd have to go to another job and come back. 290, 297. I would write it in my phone, but my phone's up there. Mill's prepared, he's got a pencil. 290, 297. I add on the thickness of this tile, what's that? 5mm, is it? 5mm plus some adhesive. You could call it 7, 8mm, it doesn't really matter. Let's call it 8mm. Add on 8mm, and then really we want an overhang. I'm going to get it ball nose this. I was thinking, rather than having it square edged and just taking the arris off, I'm going to ball nose the front of it. Just comfier when you're sitting on it, wouldn't it? So if we call that, we'd normally call that sort of 25mm, wouldn't you? But that might be a bit much, isn't it? The more overhang we have, the more it's restricting this opening down as well, I suppose, where you're standing it. I'm going to call it 20mm clear overhang. So that means at one end, so it's 28mm. So that's 318 at one end, and it wants to be 7mm bigger at the other. And then what's that? 325. 318 and 325. That's 7mm difference, isn't it? Sure is, dear boy. And then lengthwise, 1570 we're going to call it. 1570. Check that again. When you've got a camera filming, it feels like there's someone looking over your shoulder. 1575, 1570, which puts you off.
There is.
It sort of is, isn't there?
There's your 200 followers.
57. 1570. And then 325. You're sort of thinking about, I'm not saying anything stupid, but I do that all day long, so you can't really help it. Ball nose on the front, honed. And then down here, we're going to have another bit actually. This other end, this end of the shower down here was also tiled. This end was just tiles, and they're all, never tile a horizontal surface. Certainly not in the shower cubicle. Anyway, they were all cracked, and it had plywood underneath 2 layers of 12 mil ply. So we took that out, so it was all black and rotten. We put some 20 mil tile backer board in there, screwed in with stainless steel screws and washers, and sort of done our tanking business with it. Always tricky, there's always some tricky detail in bathrooms and you sort of bloody scratch your head, but because like the end of the shower tray here is rubber, and this, I don't know if this tanking adhesive takes properly to the rubber, so we'll have to see how that dries, and we might have to put some, like, I suppose CT1 or something down there. So far the only person I know who's enjoying our videos, Emil, is Helen's Dave, and he's our #1 fan, so hello Dave and thank you. I gave him a keg of that beer. And Lily straight away said to Helen, yeah, but Emil said that's crap. That beer. She outed me. I was like, Jesus. I'm trying to look really generous. 25, 140, 15. And that's just a tiny little bit of granite that I'm going to get the stone company to make us, to cut us, and then we can maybe adjust it and fettle it into position on the end. You can't see it on camera, I don't think. Maybe you can. On this end. And then we'll mastic everything in nice and neatly. This morning we are at a job. This is the same job where recently we put a new warm roof on the back of this house. On the back of this house we've rebuilt the roof. Because we've turned it into a warm roof, the outlets are that much higher now. You can see where we've patched in. We've patched in where these like scuppers come out through the wall and into these hoppers. And we've patched them in with some render carrier board. Now we're waiting for the plasterers to come, and they're going to render this whole back elevation. They're going to re-monocouche this, or silicon render the whole back to get over these patches. Otherwise, you can't patch this silicon render. It just looks terrible. So once we know when the plasterers are coming, we'll take these downpipes off. We'll take the lights off, the brackets and everything, and this will get jet washed and fungicidal washed. Must be getting on for 3 years ago now. I sort of worked on this studio in the garden. There was an old crappy door here, and so I put a flitch beam in and some doors and some cedar cladding. I sort of I've inherited now this roof basically. But this was all like onto a rotten fascia and just guttering through here before. So I put like this secret gutter in behind here, which goes to this downpipe here, and some tricoya fascia, which has all worked nicely. But these windows, these 5 windows, they're just perspex, and they're sort of inherently badly designed really, as far as like trying to waterproof them goes. They just rely on being siliconed, so the perspex get siliconed up to the underside of this GRP roof basically. Inside there it's masticed, and then along the bottom here it's masticed. Now some of them are started to leak. I think this one, we've just been up here with a hose pipe and some water is getting in the bottom of there, where this, it's just a straight joint here, and water, as soon as that mastic doesn't work, water is just getting up inside, going up there and trickling down and in. So that one and that one are, so now today we're going to take all of these windows out, clean them all up, dry them off, sort of reseal them in basically, put them back in and reseal them is all I can think of doing right now. On the inside, because I put them in, I replaced the perspex because the old perspex was sort of knackered. So I put these 5 in, and I've put these plywood reveals in. I cut this plywood, and so those plywood reveals hold the perspex in place. So we're going to take all the reveals off, all the way around here. Take the perspex out. We're going to do them one at a time because well, it's going to rain today. Moisture's got in there, water's coming in there. But this is this is what it's causing. This damp patch along here, water must be getting in and tracking around and appearing there. So we're going to take them out one at a time. We're just going to take these out one at a time, clean them up, reseal them in. But it's a worry because that's what I did the first time I put them in, but they're sort of inherently, as I say, badly designed. from the fella that, it was like a DIY enthusiast that built this studio originally, an artist's man. And it's a funny, you know, it's pretty cool, but it's a funny old design. None of these windows are right, you know, you'd rather have Veluxes up here, something proper.
Shall I do it to all of them?
No, don't do it to all of them, because we're worried about the rain. Come on in, boy. Let's go. Cool. Fred's off for his treats. All right, Fred? You getting treats? What do you reckon, Fred? You had your morning treats. We get back to work? Back to work? Let's go. Come on. Ugh. All right, son. Should we go find meal? Well, it's Friday afternoon. Fred's relaxing. Hopefully Mad doesn't watch this and see Fred on her sofa. Fred loves Mad, so that doesn't... No, I mean, well, Fred loves Mad and Mad loves Fred, so that's okay. So me and Emil have been working today on these 5 windows up here. Bloody things. We're on the 5th one now, and we've taken them all out and cleaned them up. Cleaned all the old silicone off that was on the fiberglass and on the perspex. These are perspex. And then we've used a product called OB1, just a clear sealant adhesive stuff, and that's, you might be able to see it here, all squidged out. So we've let it squidge out, so it's got a real good sort of full body seal. We're going to leave it like that until next week and cut it off. So here's looking back across on this job to that rubber roof we did lately, and the extension that we did last year, and the terrace that we tiled earlier in spring this year, I think it was. Anyway, so this part of the roof I rebuilt 3 years ago and put this gutter in. Seems to be working fine. It's just these 5 perspex bloody windows. There's this inherent problem of water coming, just because all that happens is the perspex sits over here and is sort of siliconed in place, and really that's not a very good detail at all. But we are thinking about getting something and sticking it over that, but it's all just not brilliant, you know. I don't want to say the words flash band, something to bridge that, but whatever we put on there, water can just like sit on here and sit on the top of it. Anyway, we're on the 5th one, got them all sealed in nicely, so next week we're going to cut the extra sealant off that's squidged out and then put a hose pipe up here again, jet it into all of these and see what happens really. So what I'm doing is getting a chisel. All this old mastic, horrible old. It's the trouble 3 years ago when I did it, you know, I did the best I could sealing it up, but it hasn't taken long to not, you know, to fail. But we won't run away from the problem, we'll make sure we address it somehow. That's an important part of it all. There's the old mastic that we've got to clean off the way around. Bill's cleaning up the reveals and the perspex, ready to stick it back in. We're on window 5. We can't stand the excitement today. We've cleaned all the silicone up, the old stuff. We've used 55 quid's worth of sealant. These corners, these are the bits where where it's a weak seal. Oh. Is that going to fit? Why is that feeling so tight? I know, but why are there not notches in it then? Might need you to go outside me and pull on this. And pull that down.
There we go.
Yeah, alright, we just... Well done.
Bottom, top.
Top. Might need a hammer, mate. A bit of light persuasion. That's gone in there alright, that one. Last one, eh? Thank God for that. A boring job. Hammer. I can hear your heartbeat. Oh, I can hear your heartbeat. Wow. Bloody hell. Kill a bloody donkey the heat up here. Funny old job this one, but they can't all be exciting. Need some wet wipes. You're going to take your bag, are you? Mill's tool bag is the heaviest thing known to man because he hoards everything as well. Like these are some things that we had left that were sent on a job we've been doing. That job with the pocket doors, and we filmed recently pocket doors, and they've got like a metal panelling in. These came with it, and now he's kept them left, haven't you? Emil, I just want to talk to you for a second.
Yes.
Get a straight answer from you. Are you a hoarder?
No. That's what we're hard to say though, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Emil does stuff like take motorbikes apart and just leave them
put it back
everywhere.
together.
We're all guilty of a bit of that. Earlier this year we finished some work here. We spent a few months working at this lovely house for Emma and Mary. One part of the work was gunning this up and finding the sewer, the foul run that runs from the back of the house right through here to there and then out into the street. And we dug down and found that and put a new inspection chamber in so coming off of the side of this inspection chamber to a new downstairs toilet that was an understairs cupboard. And then we overhauled all these sash windows actually as well. And on the back of the house there was like an amalgamation of old windows here. And there was an old door here, there's an old doorway here, and we put a new lintel in and rendered the lintel in the end so it matches in with the rest of the house. Put some new doors in, and this big glass panel on the back formed that step. And there was like a downstairs shower room. It's like a shower room, as I say, with a little tiny window in here. And so we stripped the whole place out and insulated beneath the joists. Actually, we rebuilt this. We put a new oversight in this area, and we put underfloor heating in throughout. And then this kitchen went in. Once we'd done our steel work and stuff, the kitchen went in. We go through here. This was the downstairs. This was a cupboard, electrical cupboard. The main fuse board was here and something else. The panel for the photovoltaic stuff was all here, so we had to move all of that. There's underfloor heating beneath all of this as well actually. We formed this little door in this like spandrel panel. We formed this. And we moved the fuse board into here and the PV stuff. And there's a Geberit frame built into this wall here. Actually, it was like, in fact, it was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve we left Emma and Mary here. Yeah. Like, finally sort of finished. And then we came back in the new year to decorate it. That was it. It was like such a long time ago. We also did some Kinetic outside lights. So one of these is that one there. turns on the outside lights that run around the garden. We put in some other power up here to take some fairy lights, which they haven't put in yet. And we did these outside lights around the place, you can't really see. Put in outside lights on surface conduit. We rejigged all the guttering downpipes as well, because there was this waste from this is like an art studio, and the basin waste used to come across here at this sort of height. And so we rejigged it and we brought a new basin waste down this wall and through this step actually, there into this gully. This is a new gully we put in because the downpipe used to be up that end, I think. So we put this new gully in for the storm water, and there's a pipe that goes right underneath this whole kitchen out to that back run. It runs underneath this floor that we put in whilst we were putting in the new oversight. So this cast iron pipe, we sort of reused the old cast iron, and we've used stainless steel screws and washers on it at the moment, but it's always on my mind that we need to get here and put some coach bolts in there just so it looks better, and sort of paint the heads of them black really.